Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, while speaking on Mahua, said that people make mistakes, but they can be rectified. Continuing her tirade against Indians, Canada-based Kaali, a filmmaker, called India a hate machine in her latest post. A lookout notice application has been sent to the centre by Madhya Pradesh police against the filmmaker. Well, a second hate video has now been released against Nupur Sharma from Haryana's Mewat. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinamool Congress Supremo and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is ready to exonerate Mahua Moitra. Now, all this for making a disparaging remark on Kaali, calling it a mistake. And on top of that, Canada-based filmmaker continues to insult both India as well as Hindus, calling India a hate machine and posting more insulting pictures of Hindu deities. The question here is, ladies and gentlemen, why is one person targeted while the other is only allowed to go with a slap on the wrist? When the crime is the same, when sensitivities of one group of people more important than others, we debate after this report.
There was immediate action after the condemnable comments of Nupur Sharma. But when religious sentiments of others are hurt, they call it a mistake.
নেগেটিভ ব্যাপারটা নিয়ে কোথাও একটা কাজ করতে গেলে ভুলভ্রান্তি হতেই পারে। রাইট টু মেক ব্লান্ডার্স, একথা তো নেতাজি সুভাষচন্দ্র বসু বলেছিলেন। ভুল করবার অধিকার, এটাও একটা অধিকার। কাজ যে করে ভুল করে, সে যে কাজ করে না সে ভুল করে না। তবে জেনে শুনে ভুল করা নয়, কাজ করতে গিয়ে যদি ভুল হয়ে যায় সেটা অবশ্যই রেকটিফাই করে দেওয়া যায়।
Be it mocking Hindu deities on social media platforms, or showing a Hindu goddess smoking a cigarette, or even coming out in support of such acts and degrading the Hindu gods. Why is the bar for what is secular, what is sensitive and what is condemnable different for a certain lobby? Even as Trinamool Congress distances itself from its MP Mahua Moitra's remark on Kaali,
বক্তব্যের কোনো প্রয়োজন ছিল না। মানে এখন হঠাৎ কোথাও কিছু নেই, আমরা জামা কাপড় পরি, সেটা আমাদের নগ্নতা ঢাকতে, সেইটা আমাকে নগ্ন হয়ে তারপরে আবার জামা কাপড় পরাতে দেখাবার দরকার নেই।
We do not support, approve of Mahua Moitra's statement in the matter.
the question arises, why are there different standards being set by some for Mahua and Nupur? Why is it that the smoking Kaali filmmaker can ridicule religious sensitivities, calling India a hate machine? Why does the lobby go hoarse over insult to one religion but stay silent on the other? Let's debate.
On the burning question from the BJP, Tom Varakan, Rahul Ishwar, Advocate Vineet Jindal, Suhail Seth, Tausif Ahmed Khan, Nasir Abdullah and Anirban Banerjee. Opening up the debate is Suhail Seth and Tausif Ahmed Khan. Suhail Seth, if I can come to you first. We see perfunctory tweets being put out, and they say that there is massive outrage when Nupur Sharma makes a comment, which is absolutely wrong. But at the same time, when Mahua Moitra makes that statement, they say that this is a celebration of freedom of expression. And then what we see is perfunctory tweets, no outrage whatsoever, and simply saying that, as the Chief Minister puts it, a mistake that can be rectified.
You know, ultimately people have to live with their own stupidity or their conscience. We can't have competitive stupidity. Because someone has been stupid, should the other person be stupid? Because someone has followed the law, should other people follow the law? Not is entirely up to them. Number one. Number two, you know, we are making I totally agree with you that there are, horses for courses and apples and oranges as far as people are concerned. I think ultimately the responsibility lies with them as either responsible Indians or, more importantly, in the case of both Nupur and Mahua, as people who work with and for a political party. I think what the BJP did when they issued a statement, they very clearly distanced themselves and, many would say completely obliterated her from the ecosystem. That's the BJP's way of responding. The TMC had a kind of a very weird statement in English that only they can understand. Having said that, my belief here is no faith, no religion is so fragile to be upset and to be disintegrated by stupid, irresponsible comments by whoever they may be. Including the fact that this whole Kaali poster, a lot is being made out. One lady sitting in Canada abusing an entire nation doesn't take away from the civilizational legacy of India. The more we discuss it, the more credence we give them. These, to my mind, are non-issues. I'll tell you why it's a non-issue. Because when you make it an issue, you make it seem much bigger than it really is. These are people who are agent provocateurs. For them, their only business is to provoke. The more you get created by them, the more they will provoke you. Indifference is the only medicine that they will learn. If you're indifferent to them, they will keep quiet. My view here is that let the law take its course. See, we are a functioning democracy with a constitutional legal system. If people have broken the law, let the law take its course. This threatening, beheading, killing people is ridiculous. And I think as, people have filed an FIR against the Bengal lady and against Nupur, let the law take its course. Then you will see. Because see, you also have to have law that is deterrent, law that is demonstrable, and law that prevents the abuse of either religion or faith for the sake of provocation or just to be in the news. Once we settle that particular aspect, everything will fall in place. That's my personal view.
Thank you very much, Suhail, for making the opening remarks. Let me take this question to Tausif. Tausif, very interesting remark that was made by Mahua Moitra. Now, let me just remind you, this is not what we are saying. The lady from Bengal, as Suhail puts it, she said, after that massive controversy of over Nupur Sharma, saying that there is no way that the party can actually distance themselves. Because the comment that Nupur Sharma was actually making, she was doing it at the behest of the Bharatiya Janata Party. She was being propped up by the party. Now go by the same logic. Today the Chief Minister is saying that this is a mistake and it can be rectified. But is it really possible that this entire distancing yourself but not taking any action as far as Nupur Sharma is concerned, removed from the primary membership of the party, what really happens here, Tausif? Double standards?
No, the blunder by Nupur Sharma cannot be compared with what Mahua Moitra has said. When we talking about Mahua Moitra, party has distanced itself. In fact, today the Chief Minister also indicated that people commit mistakes and mistakes can be rectified. Now, I agree with what Mr. Suhail said, that it is a non-issue.
Tausif, we seem to have lost your video line. We'll try and reconnect with you. But Advocate Vineet Jindal, you are the complainant as far as the filmmaker is concerned. We'll come back to the filmmakers issue in a while. As Suhail was also pointing out, we shouldn't really be taking the filmmaker so very seriously, because the more you do, the more you're giving her the prominence that she's essentially looking forward to, because after all, she would like to promote what she calls her artistic freedom. But Vineet Jindal, as far as Mahua Moitra is concerned, let's not forget that there would be a group in this country who essentially believes that she's hurt the sentiments. And it is important to realize that.
Yes, definitely, because it is not like that we have given a free hand to a people who is residing in this country or outside the country. Religion is a very important thing. It is in respect of the India and for the whole world. It is not about only India. The religion of Christianity is also very important in America, Britain, everywhere. So this kind of scenario, this kind of narrative have been trying to put up by the some kind of particular mindset persons that it is only India where the religion is very important. So religion is always important for every country, every person who is believing in their religion. apart from this, the way this lady sitting in Canada put this thing in a poster, Kaali, as an
Advocate
portrait
Jindal,
by
I'll
saying
come to the filmmaker a short while from now because Advocate Jindal, I'll come back to the filmmaker a short while from now. We'll go to that in a short while from now because I want to focus right now on the comments that have been made by Mahua Moitra and the fact that the party essentially is saying that, okay, let's just distance ourselves and it was a mistake, it can be rectified. Anirban, the point here is that why is it so very difficult to understand that there are sensitivities involved and why is it that we can't really respect that?
See, sensitivity without a sense of rationality or logic means nothing. I'll give you an example. So there are sects of people all over the world, I think, who worship a sun as their god. Now, if I say that the sun rises in the east, and if somebody says that is hurting my religious sentiments, that does not make any sense. There is no logic or rationale behind it. Therefore, what Madam Moitra said was she was simply stating the rituals of Kali Pujo that takes place not only in West Bengal but also other parts of India and Nepal and Bhutan as well, maybe in other countries as well. Therefore, she was not trying to hurt anybody's sentiment. Stating a fact cannot be hurting sentiments of anyone. That is number one.
Absolutely.
Let Rahul Ishwar. Okay, Anirban, you made your point. Anirban, you made your point. Let Rahul Ishwar. Then I want to make a small interjection here. Rahul Ishwar. No, Anirban, you made your point. Let others also make their point. I'll come back to you. Rahul Ishwar, I want you to respond to what Anirban has to say. Why get so very touchy? Why get so very touchy about any issue or what Mahua Moitra has to say? Because she is irrelevant. Perhaps the issue is more important. As as they say, little knowledge can be extremely dangerous.
Shravanji, first point, Nupur Sharma is a friend of mine, but what she said is indefensible and absolutely wrong. Similarly, there are some ultra right-wing, defenders of Nupur Sharma who also use the same argument. What she is quoting is facts. Please remember, we can use facts or any other statements to demean, insult, insinuate and denigrate any religion for that matter. What makes India Vishwaguru is that India was the first nation to ban satanic verses which demeaned and denigrated Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even before the 52 Muslim nations, even before Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia and Indonesia, India banned satanic verses respecting our Muslim brothers' sentiments. Similarly, every faith should be accorded respect, mutual responsibility. And please remember, creativity has a twin. The name is sensitivity. Liberty has a twin. The twin's name is responsibility. We cannot live in a diverse world without sensitivity and respect. And just one more line, sir. Please comparing it to any other thing, including sun god, is absolutely out of context.
Let's not talk over each other. Let's not talk over Anirban. Let's not talk over each other. Anirban, I'll come to you. Rahul Ishwar, make your point. Then let me also bring in Anirban. I'll give you time to respond. Let's not talk over each other. Rahul Ishwar, quickly, make your point.
Is it too much to ask when we Hindus say, please respect us? See, please, don't denigrate our deities. What is your problem when somebody says, let us mutually respect everyone? Whether it be Prophet Muhammad or Hazrat Aisha or Holy Mother Mary or Sri Ram or Kali Mata.
You're insulting
what is the problem? Right now. So why do you want to denigrate Hindu community? And in India, Hindu phobia is passed off as progressism. Hindu phobia is called fashionable, liberal, left. Progressive.
Through
IPC.
Listen to this, Rahul Babu now.
Hindu phobia is the issue.
Hindu
phobic attitude.
Rahul Babu, listen to this. Rahul Babu, first of all, you are not a sole contractor of the Hindu community. That is number one. Yeah. Rahul Babu is.
Anirban, just a quick reminder,
you are not the sole contractor of the Hindu community.
Sir, are you the sole custodian of secularism?
Sorry?
Are you the sole custodian?
I just wanted to remind Anirban, looks like you're
about Hindus.
Okay, go ahead.
Why not?
Rahul, hold on. Rahul, hold on. Let Anirban make his response right now. Go ahead, Anirban.
Yeah, see, whatever I say, Rahul Babu is going to respond with utter nonsense. I'll tell you, please read Swami Vivekananda. There is
No,
a
come on.
there's an article written by him.
Anirban, let's not make that kind of comments right now. Let's not make that kind of comments right now. It's an important issue. Let's not, Anirban, one second, please refrain from making such comments. I'm not accepting any sort of unparliamentary. One second, Anirban, if you,
how is the name?
No, one second.
Unparliamentary.
Rahul. No, I'm not. Before that, you're presuming what Rahul is actually going to say, whether it's going to be devoid of any logic, and why do you think that you are the custodian of any sort of logic or rationality?
I'll explain.
So don't make those sweeping comments, Anirban. Make your point. You are allowed. Go ahead and make your point. 30 seconds. I'm giving you. Respond to what Rahul Ishwar is saying. A specific question. Why exactly? I'm asking. Let me repeat this. Anirban, let me repeat this for you. 30 seconds. I'll give you. Respond to what Rahul Ishwar is saying. Rahul Ishwar is constantly reminding you of the fact that why is it so very fashionable for some people to constantly degenerate, to try and insult Hindu deities, and it becomes almost like a faction, and some people and some pseudo-seculars are going to applaud that by saying that, look here, finally Mahua Moitra, you are the one who's basically representing our feelings.
Okay. So Swami Vivekananda, I don't think I need to explain who he is one of the topmost icons of not just Hindu Dharma but also Bengal and India as well, right? He, in his works, in one of his articles, which is termed Pracho Ebong Paschatto, the East and the West, he said that Ekhane Ma Kali Pathar Muro Khabe. What it translates into English is, Je Ma Kali here will eat the skull of a goat, mutton, meat. That is what Swami Vivekananda wrote. And in the next line he writes, if you can't tolerate that, please go away from here. That is the exact words of Swami Vivekananda. I am giving you the name of the article. Pracho ebong Paschatto. I rest my case here.
Tom Vadakan, why don't you respond to what Anirban has to say?
Well, I don't want to react to what Anirban says, because primarily these are his quotes raised out of context. I only want to say something on this issue concerned here.
No, but Tom Vadakan, why is it out of context? Tom Vadakan, why is it really out of context? So Anirban is saying, if just to summarize this for you, Tom Vadakan, the fact here is that she's basically what Anirban is essentially trying to say is that Mahua is entitled to make her comments. Mahua is entitled to do so, and if you really have a problem, why issue these kind of death threats? Death threats, and then you say that there is a section which is constantly getting sort of vilified. There is a section which constantly feels that threatened with any sort of comments that is being passed.
The issue here is not about death threats. The issue is my right to religion, my right to believe in my deity, my right to worship.
No, I
have a right.
Then by that logic, Tom Vadakan, even Mahua Moitra has. By that logic, Tom Vadakan, she also has the right.
She has a right,
no,
but her
if that
right
is the case,
ends where my deity begins. Her right ends where my deity begins. If I worship a particular deity, she has no business defaming it, and especially in the Hindu hierarchy, the state that they
Kaali worshipper.
I am a Kaali worshipper. What about you, Mr. Ban? Who are you? What do you worship? What do you stand for? Come on, what do you stand for? Do you have anything?
Mr. Vadakan, let's not get into who's worshipping. No, Tom Vadakan, let me just bring you back. Let me just bring. No, one second. Let's not. No one is really interested right now. No one is really interested in which. No, one second. Let's not ask this question, Tom Vadakan, of Anirban, of which goddess does he follow or he doesn't. No one is really interested in knowing that. Let's just stick to the issues here. The issue at hand right now is that there seems to be some sort of a hypocrisy. Tom Vadakan, a quick response from you, and then I also want Meeta Chakrabarti to come in. Meeta Chakrabarti can respond. Tom Vadakan, make your comment right now. A simple question. This is about double standards. Meeta, This is also about double standards. I'm asking this question once again. Both of them who made these comments, are absolutely wrong. Both of them who made these comments are absolutely wrong. But why this selective? Meeta, let Meeta come in. Let Meeta come in, and then Tom Vadakan, you respond. Meeta, why this selective response? There is a huge outrage that you see when Nupur Sharma makes that comment. Yes, rightfully so. But what really happens when Mahua makes a comment, and there is a section which feels that why exactly would you do that? And then you also have the filmmaker. I'll come to the filmmaker in a short while from now. But we've seen there is a pattern to it. There is a pattern, Meeta Chakrabarti, the pattern is this. When Mahua Moitra was mocking the shiveling, what was the response? Should I remind you what was the response?
When
the Baba Atomic Research Center's a photograph was put out, she was again mocking. There is a pattern. No, there is a pattern. Muhammad Zubair's comments on Lord Hanuman is being hailed by Mahua. There is a pattern. Now, there is a deliberate attempt. Now, let's not only talk about only one issue. Not only her comment on goddess Kaali, but there is a pattern. There is a pattern to constantly try and vilify. There is a pattern to constantly try and provoke someone.
Ma Kaali, will you let me do that, please, sir? With due respect, you are misleading the nation. Hindu religion does not have one singular homogeneous interpretation. Hindu religion and religious customs and cultural, socio-cultural customs and traditions are different in different parts of the country. In Bengal, over centuries, liquor and non-vegetarian food had been served as part of the offering during Kali Puja, which is done during Diwali time.
I think so.
As bhog.
Let me do something. Meeta, let me do something. Let me bring in Suhail. So you've heard, Meeta, there's a fundamental problem here, Meeta. Probably, Suhail, what is happening? Meeta, just hold on. Let's not do this. There is enough time. Meeta, there is enough time. Suhail, can I just come in here? 1 second, hold on. Meeta, hold on. Let's not do this. Let's have a civilized debate right now. Meeta, there is no point shouting. No one is actually understanding what is it that you're trying to say. Suhail,
I'll try again.
Suhail, I think so it was a little difficult. I think, Meeta, just hold on. Just give me 10 seconds. Let me also bring in Suhail right now. Both of you can debate. But Suhail, I think so there was a slight problem here. Meeta found it a little difficult to comprehend my question. My question was this. There is a pattern that I'm talking about, Meeta. The pattern here is that if you look at all the tweets that have been put out by the Honorable Lady from West Bengal, the parliamentarian representing the Trinamool Congress Party, there is a knack, she's got the penchant for constantly trying to provoke. Suhail, am I wrong?
So here's my thing, and just allow me to finish because there are intelligent people on this panel and you've seen the differences that this panel has. So how would you expect a larger universe called the population of India, or for that matter, as Vinny Jain says, the population of the world, to come together on any religious plane? People have their differences. They have their religious interpretations. The Jews don't believe that there's a New Testament. They believe that everything stopped with the Old Testament. I mean, this is recorded theology. Why are we wasting our time? I'm telling you time and time again, Savan, the only way to lick this problem is if people feel affronted and if they believe that it's a violation of the law of the land, approach it legally. Don't approach it. See, there will always be trolls and these stupid people on Twitter through anonymity. They will always be there. They will abuse everyone. Rahul Ishwar is entitled to his interpretation of Ma Kaali, as is Meeta of hers, as is Anirban as an atheist. I'm not grudging them anything. Yes, I expect a Meeta and an Anirban to respect my religion. But for a moment's sake,
but are you respecting my religion as well?
Is my religion... 1 minute, Meeta, did I interrupt? So keep quiet for a minute, please. Okay. Suppose I do not respect... Suppose Meeta turns out not respecting my religion, hypothetically. Am I going to have my religion under threat? No. I will request Meeta politely, and let's say Meeta says, no, I believe in this. I will then have legal action. I'm open to legal action. But I cannot deny Meeta her right to interpret. A. B. You and I and everyone on the panel knows how these jokers do these things to provoke. Why do we get provoked? We are falling exactly as a bait to their intellectual, provocation. I will end by saying we are a great country. We are a civilizational legacy. We have lived in harmony for centuries. Why are we allowing deviant behavior of irresponsible, stupid people to tear us apart when all they want to do is provoke and be the news themselves? The more airtime you give these people, the more they become relevant. Strike their intellectual stupidity into irrelevance and they will shut up. That's the tragedy. I don't think a Hindu feels threatened by some joker showing Ma Kaali, Kaali's poster in a bad light. It'll go back to her. Or my religion, I'm born Hindu. My religion doesn't get threatened by what person X or person Y says because I'm confident of my religion and my God. Let's respect that. Now, if we can't respect that, then take them to court. Let the courts decide. There are rules in place. There's a law in place. Don't divide India. We are at a great place, at a great time. We are on the cusp of global leadership, be it in thought, be it in terms of history. Let's respect that. This is not the time to divide. This is not the time for hate. It's the time for unity and it's the time for love. Those who can't love, let them revel in their hate and stew in their hate. But don't make their fire from their cauldron of hate come and touch us and singe us. Now, please interrupt me, my dears.
Okay, can I come?
Meeta, make your point and then Nasir, I'll come back to you. I apologize, Nasir. You've been waiting for quite some time. You've been waiting patiently. Nasir, I'll come back to you. We'll get the filmmaker issue in a short while from now, and I'll bring you in. But let Meeta, go ahead, respond.
First of all, I'm not a TMC spokesperson, nor am I here on behalf of Mahua Moitra. So I'm not here to defend everything and anything that she said or did. Number one. Number two, Mahua Moitra was celebrating goddess Kaali. Mahua Moitra was talking about our religious tradition that has been followed for centuries in Bengal. What is Chandi Stav, which is done during Chandi Puja on Mahaashtami's day during Durga Puja? What happens in Kamakhya temple? What happens in Kali Ghat? Every single day, non-veg food is given there as a bhog, as an offering. It's part of our culture. All I'm trying to do is make a few factual statements. You got the entire premises wrong. There was no insult. In fact, by telling us that we are possibly lesser of Hindu because we are serving non-veg during puja, or we have liquor being served as part of the bhog during Kali Puja, which has been happening over centuries by certain sects within Hinduism, you're telling us that we are just not good enough. My problem is having this one homogeneous, monolithic interpretation of Hinduism, this one standard template that is being imposed across the nation. Hinduism has different interpretations, has different cultural traditions. So down south, we may have some traditions which we may not be able to appreciate or fully agree with, but are they, as long as they are not breaking the law of the land, are they not allowed to follow those traditions? The big difference between Nupur Sharma and Mahua Moitra was talking about her own religious faith as how she derives Shakti, how she does Shakti Puja, as how she does her Kali Puja. I do not want someone else to tell me as how I'm going to worship my mother. Kali Ma is just not a goddess for Bengali woman. She is pure emotion. Please try and understand from where we are coming. It's not a matter of insult. However, I do find it problematic and insulting when we are told as a community that the way you worship is not good enough. There cannot be one homogeneous interpretation of Hinduism, and that's the limited point that I'm trying to make. We are feeling insulted by being told over and over again that our methods are wrong. We are talking about unity as well. But please do understand, ignorance cannot be the reason. If you are ignorant about our methods, if you are ignorant about what Ramakrishna Dev did in Dakshineshwar temple, that even today 5 forms of fish is being served as part of bhog to Ma Kaali every single day, then that's your problem, sir. That's not my problem.
Meeta, fair enough.
My only limited point is to not divide us further. Already there is Hindu-Muslim polarization going on.
I'll take your point to Tom Vadakan and then I'll bring in...
Respect diversity. Respect the fact that we are all different. We are not trying to disrespect
diversity and Tom
anybody.
Vadakan,
If at
Tom
all
Vadakan,
anything, we
interpretation,
want to connect further with
this
our
interpretation,
Lords in our own ways.
You've heard, Tom Vadakan, you've heard what Meeta has to say. This monolithic approach that you essentially have when it comes to dealing with religion and not really looking at the diverse aspects in itself is quite fraught with a lot of problems, Tom Vadakan.
Let me begin with the kind of introduction. She said she's not a supporter of TMC and she's not an advocate or a spokesman for Mahua. But the whole narrative was a defense. Now, that apart. Now, let me talk about Mahua. She's a serial offender. It's not about Kaali that it started off with. She started calling Hindus the Vanar Sena, followed by what she called the Gyanvapi Shivling. She called it, compared it with the atomic reactor. Then now we have the Kaali. There is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of a process in this. I am not against what happens in South or what happens in North in worshipping, but you have no right to belittle. I'm a Christian. I will not belittle any religion. I respect every religion. The point I'm making is you have to
Anirban, I'll come to you in a short while. From the Tom Vadakan, you made a point. Nasir Abdullah. Let me bring in Nasir Abdullah. He's been waiting patiently for almost over 20 minutes. And Nasir Abdullah, apologize for the delay, but let me now bring in the other issue that we've been focusing on. As far as the Canada-based filmmaker is concerned, many are celebrating it as some artistic expression. So what's the harm in it? Fair enough, go ahead. And now what happens is that today, one more tweet is put out, Nasir Abdullah. And I'm quite sure you must have seen the tweet that is put out by the Canada-based filmmaker, where she's calling India a hate machine. So isn't there an agenda to this entire thing?
I don't know about the agenda, but it's a highly irresponsible statement. There have been incidents of stuff that has been happening. There have been whatever lynchings occasionally and whatever, but there is always also an overwhelming like a paranoia about some people out to degrade India and to cut up India and to distribute the pieces to Afghanistan, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, I don't know. But here is the deal, and please do not interrupt me because you seem to not allow me to speak very well and others are allowed, which is fine. I will accept my fate if you do. So here is the deal. I had a feeling, and I said that on another channel, I said that the Indian ambassador in Canada should summon the lady or whoever and ask her, what was your intention? The point is, if she's being treated like an offender, almost a criminal, maybe something will be filed against her, we need to know her intentions to show Kaali having a cigarette. What was the point? Is it a part of the film deal where she wants to express something through the visual? The second thing is that if there is an SGPT thing she's holding, they don't have a complaint about that. I think it's only about the smoking. But let's say I think we should find out from her directly what are your intentions. At least ask the culprit, what are you trying to show, madam? What is your problem? Is there a problem? Second thing, about Mahua, she apparently, in my knowledge, was giving her version of what she knows about actually Kaali worship. Kaali was a transformation from Durga to Kaali. Something happened, that is how the story goes, where she became a bloodthirsty goddess. And Shivji offered to bring her under control, but she even walked over him. And as she did that, she was on a bloody mission. And her tongue came out, and that is how they show her. A tongue which is like shock because she did that and suddenly realized that she was going wrong. So whatever they do, Mahua has spoken about what she knows, and she does not, in my opinion, intend to hurt. I mean, what a stupid point, to hurt Hindu sentiments, Hindu gods. Firstly, the gods cannot be desecrated. Your faith is your faith, and Sohail said it very wisely, very nicely, more than once. You cannot desecrate my faith. You cannot desecrate my... Having said that, we have a problem. Muslims have a bigger problem. I think Hindus are the cooler lot, but the Muslims get...
Shahji, just one submission.
Decapitate
Nasir.
Nubar. Terrible shit. Terrible
Nasir.
stuff. I'm very upset about that.
You know, Rahul Ishwar, why don't you respond? Why don't you respond?
Her intention is clear. Leena's intention is clear. If it is not clear to anyone, see the second tweet where she insulted Mahadev or Paramashiva with Parvati. And these kind of things she's continuously insinuating. And regarding her tweet on Ram, so she's purposefully provoking because she knows that Hindus are a soft target. See, I totally agree with Suhail Sethji's spirit. I think nobody can disagree. What he said is very statesmanly. At the same point of time, Hindus are considered soft targets. That's the reason why we have been constantly demeaned. And please remember, why can't we take a position that we will respect every religion? What is the harm in taking the position? And Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he prayed at Kaali temple there. And Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was a Kaali Pujari. Do you think Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa would be happy to see, had he been alive today, to see Kaali with a smoking cigarette? Please remember, why can't you be sensitive? It has been fashionable to become Hindu-phobic. It has been pseudo-progressive to become Hindu-phobic.
Anirban, I'll come to you, but I want Tausif. I want Tausif to come in. Tausif, why not come to a position? Why not come to a position where we do not respect, we do not hurt the sentiments of any religion for that matter? So I want Tausif to come in. Tausif.
Absolutely, that is the ideal situation that the constitution contemplates for its citizen, that no one should hurt the sentiment. And if there are cases when someone feels that their sentiment is hurt, then FIRs are lodged. When FIRs are lodged, let the law take its own course. By debating over it, by giving credence to it more than required, we are working to the advantage of these elements. I mean, no one knew the film director, no one knew about this film before. It is only after it caught the attention of the national media and BJP. We have started talking about it, and why BJP is doing this. I absolutely, I agree 100% with Mr. Seth when he said that any prudent person, any logical person would say that this let's not discuss about it. Yet the media is discussing. There is a ulterior motive behind that. There is BJP. There is aided by media, which does not want to talk about the failure of the central government. For an example, only 2 days ago, just 1 day ago, the domestic gas prices were raised. We have the unemployment at high time. We have the essential commodities prices going high. We do not want to talk about that. What we are obsessed with is this whole idea, this manufactured idea by some people.
Tausif, I'll ask that question. I'll take that question.
If sentiment is hurt, let the law take its own course.
I'll ask that question. I'll ask that question to Tom Vadakan. Tom Vadakan, I'll ask that question to Tom Vadakan, but I need to slip into a short break right now. I'll request, gentlemen, all of you to stay on. On the other side, this question to be taken to Tom Vadakan.
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Tom Vadakan, Tausif says that you do not want to talk about issues, and that is the reason why you're constantly raking up this entire issue, attempt to divide. Now, that's the allegation that's been leveled against you. Why don't you respond?
Well, this is surprising. The Bharatiya Janata Party has nothing to do with this Canadian citizen or Indian citizen, whatever she is. We never provoked. But when you come and believe
you had
that
the Madhya Pradesh police. No,
no, let me complete. Let me
can't
complete.
Say you have nothing to do with it, Tom Vadakan, because Madhya Pradesh police has already put out a lookout application because they believe a lookout circular should be issued for a person who is actually based out of Canada. That lookout circular in itself is quite baseless.
And the basic here argument what Sohail said, the law will take its own course. Why, when there is a provocation of this kind, what do you think the the law of the land is going to be quiet? They will act, and the provocation is bad enough. Here, look at the comparison. What is the music Nupur is facing, and what is the kind of defense that this lady Mohua is getting? Now, what do you think the person sitting in Canada, what is her background? What is the mischief she's planning? And why is she provoking India? She said in one of her tweets that if Mr. Modi comes to power, Mr. Modi comes to power, listen to me, learn to listen. Mr. Modi comes to power, she will...
Tom Vadakan, Sohail says, why bother?
This is a tweet.
But why bother? Anirban.
I'm bringing out her background. She's
okay,
on
Anirban,
social
respond.
media. This is what
okay, Anirban,
she
respond.
So you need to check her background. Is she part of the
on the one hand, Tom Vadakan is saying that there is a mischievous.
Yeah.
No, Tom Vadakan, Sohail says, why really bother? Sohail, why don't you make your point? Why don't you make your point, and then I want Anirban to respond.
What has happened?
Let Sohail make that point. Why really bother about this filmmaker?
What has happened tragically, and this is the reality, religion, which is supposed to be a private affair, has now become so intertwined with the politics of the land, no matter which political party it is. You see, I hate all political parties. The fact that politics becomes intertwined with religion is actually the nub of the issue. Because where it was an issue of disrespecting or being insensitive to a religion, you are now able to create polarization based on religious, political or politico-religious sentiment. That creates another issue. You see, the FIR has been filed, lookout notice has been given, the lady's a Canadian citizen, you can't do diddly jack. But you will make all the noise. My point is very simple. There are going to be agent provocateurs in the world across. They may belong to the political mainstream, they may not. The fact is, we cannot have one unidimensional interpretation of everything, whether it is religion, politics, science, anything. You see, it was famously said, you may disagree without being disagreeable. The point is, we have stopped the definition between disagreeing and disagreeable. The anger, the rage, it's almost, if you're not with me, you're against me. This is very dangerous in any democracy. I'm not for a moment suggesting that people become insensitive and hurl insults towards people's religions. They will be outed. Trust me, they will be outed. The people in Bengal, the Nupur Sharma, whoever these people are, they will be outed. There will come a time when the nation will not be able to tolerate, or the nation will not be able to stomach this constant demeaning of any religion or any faith. Till that time happens, my only request or my only view is, I'm no one to request, my only view is, let the law take its course. But the law must be fair, the law must be just, and the law must apply to no matter who says it. Because then you will make demonstrable examples of people who are deviant, badly behaved, and insensitive towards our country. Ultimately, it's the nation first, and we follow. It cannot be individual polarities or individual agendas which are supreme over all of us. But interpretations are allowed. I mean, in Hinduism, there are multitude of interpretations. Would I say that interpretation is not fair or is unfair? I'm no one to say it. I'm not the oracle of morality. Yes, I have to respect a Mita or an Anirban or a Tom or a Nasir. I have to respect them because they are human beings and they have a point of view. I may disagree with them on logic, but I can't say, okay, Anirban, just because তুমি এটা বললে আমি তোমার মাথাটা ভেঙে দেব. We cannot become a culture of Western India.
Anirban, make your point also. Like,
I'll not really respond.
No, I think so. Suhail, in fact,
Anirban
Anirban also was bursting into Bengali a short while back. I think.
That's why
I think so. Anirban also wanted.
So I need an excuse to speak in Bengali.
Because just a quick reminder, he was on Republic TV and not on Republic Bangla. But yeah, Anirban, go ahead and make your point.
No, yeah. So yeah, regarding what Rahul was saying about Ramakrishna Paramahansa, till now I had heard an adage that ignorance is bliss. Now I also know that ignorance is very hypersensitive. Just because he is referring to Ramakrishna Dev, I must say that Ramakrishna Dev was one of the most lenient and liberal persons ever. I mean, the term he used to refer to Kaali in colloquial Bangla.
Please answer to the question.
Baba, listen to this. This is not punishment.
Rahul, 1 second. All this while, we've heard everyone. Rahul, come on. I'm really running short of time. So let Anirban make that point. Rahul, I'll give you the last word. But let's just respect each other. Rahul, I think so. Not just respect religion, but let's also respect each other here. Anirban has a different opinion. Let's respect opinions also. Rahul Ishwar, come on. Hold on. Let Anirban make that point, and then Rahul, you can make your point. Anirban, go ahead, make your point.
If I have to sum up everything that we have learned from, say, Ramakrishna Paramahansa Dev or Swami Vivekananda or Ma Sharoda or whoever, it's only this, that tolerate, live and let live. That's all. Do not throw stones at each other. Don't get so hypersensitive, and please boycott the RSS BJP. That is what I said, not Ramakrishna Dev.
What is the politics in it? Please remember, sensitivity, responsibility, nothing else.
Anirban, last moment you want to, that googly from your side. Rahul Ishwar, make your point. The final word, come on.
Just one line. What we learned from Swami Vivekananda to Mahatma Gandhi is respect every faith, and that respect is also deserved for us Hindus. We Hindus are not children of some lesser god. So we also deserve the same respect along with all other faiths. That is what Vivekananda taught us.
Krishna Dev was a Sufi Muslim from 16 to 17, I think.
I just want Vineet Jindal. Anirban, I've given you the time. Let me just bring in Vineet Jindal and Nasir Abdullah, because they haven't had the opportunity to make their points once again. Vineet Jindal, you've heard Suhail say it. Now, this lady, filmmaker based out of Canada, she may have whatever she wants to, whatever her agenda be, but why really focus on what she has to say or what she wants to? She's sitting out of Canada. How does it really matter?
This matters because the whole world having a responsibility to maintain the dignity of every religion. It is not like that someone sitting in somewhere else, not in India, and making any kind of remark upon a religion, Hindu religion. So it should be stopped. It could be a Pakistan, it could be a Canada, it could be America. But a religion it could be taken in a relevant manner. It is not like that to free to call anything about or doing anything wrong against any religion. It could be a Muslim, it could be a Isai, it could be a Hindu. It doesn't matter. The important point is intent. As there are certain panelists who are saying that just listen, just see the movies. I have also seen the tweet which is done by this lady.
I'm running. Vineet, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt because I'm really running short of time, and I just want to give a few more seconds to Nasir Abdullah because he's not made his point. Nasir, you've heard what Vineet Jindal, he's a complainant in this case. Vineet Jindal is saying that has to be respected. All religions have to be respected, and the intent is a problem.
I know what I have to say. Please don't give me the whole thing all over again. Here is the deal. You just said that she's sitting pretty in Canada. Nobody can really touch her. Suhail also said that. You also said that. And they've even made a request to the Prime Minister, Mr. Trudeau. He's not doing anything about it as yet, and he may not be able to do anything. So what are we left with? What we are actually left with is to ignore her film, ban it from being shown here, etc., etc., and that is it. The other option is to send somebody there and harm her, or to make her apologize, or to kidnap her. Of course, that's a criminal act, but that is all we can do. We can only ignore her. I know what she's done has had a very bad impact. It is wrong, and she didn't get the sensitivities of the people here, and she didn't know that she was actually playing with fire. And so, but what do you do? She's a Canadian a citizen. You can't do anything. So the best you can do is to ignore and say, go to hell, and not allow the film to come here in any which way. Don't stop.
Well, thank you very much, Nasir and Tom Wadakan, Advocate Vineet Jindal, Suhail Seth, Tausif, and Anirban and Meeta for joining us on The Burning Question.